I know we're going to give out our Giants grades, and we're going to have Ricky Pearsall. We're also going to get into this NBA 25 under 25.
Oh, yes. This is very interesting.
I find it fascinating. But let's give out our grades first.
Let's give out our grades. So you got the music. You got Bob Melvin. You got the Bob Melvin soundbite? Here's the Bob Melvin soundbite on grades for the Giants.
This was from after the game on Sunday, just to set it up.
Yep.
The season now, if you had to assign a letter grade to your team's performance, what would you give them?
I'm not going to do that. We've been spotty. I mean, you look at the stats across the board, whether it's pitching numbers, whether it's the offensive numbers, it hasn't been great. But to sit here right at 500 or a game below, and we know there's a lot more in there, it's not a horrible place to be. You know, no one's really running in our division too much, so... You know, our travel's been a little tough. We got another East Coast trip, and then come home, got another one after that. So at some point in time, we'll hit our stride, but I'm going to not do the grade thing right now.
All right, so the Giants are 14-16, 4 games behind the L.A. Dodgers, but they are in second place in the NL West. 9-7 at home, 5-9 away from home. They're a -21 when it comes to run differential, if you're into that type of thing. Look, the offense has been spotty, very, very spotty. I think the starting rotation has been solid. The bullpen, I need a little more from them. Outfield, infield. So let's break it down, man. Yeah. You got the music for us? Give us some Booker T and MGs.
Let's go around the infield first.
You want to go around the infield? Let's go around the infield. Offensively, defensively, let's combine both, Shasky, for our letter grade. You start.
I think it is an unbelievable mixed bag, and I'm going to go a C on the infield. And the reason why I'm going with a C, I think Lamont Wade Jr. is one of the few A's on this team. I think Tyler Fitzgerald as a backup in the infield has been way better than I thought. And Nick Ahmed, I give like a B+. Way better than I anticipated. The bat's cooled off a little. Had some big situational hits. Defensively, he's been awesome. Chapman has not been as good as I wanted. And I think Thairo Estrada taking a step back hasn't been as good as I wanted. And I'll lump in the catcher as part of the infield. I think he has been better than anticipated. But I'm weighed down by how much money you gave Chapman. It's technically right now a 1-year, $20 million deal. But it could turn into a 3-year, $52, $54 million deal, depending on incentives. And Estrada, who's been really good the last couple years, he just hasn't been as good.
Been up and down.
And so I think those two guys are weighing down the rest of the infield. For as great as Lamont Wade Jr.'s been and Patrick Bailey, I got it at a C.
Chapman, underwhelming, especially at the plate with the bat in his hands. Tyler Estrada, we just cited the numbers. He's batting under 230. First base, we haven't gotten a lot from Wilmer Flores yet.
No,
haven't got a lot.
Bad.
He's been a little quiet, been a little spotty. Defensively, they are better. They're better defensively. Just the eyeballs tell you they're a bit.
I agree.
They're better. And in the past few years, errors. They lead the majors in errors last year.
Errors. They had basically an error game.
Right. So this year they've been better defensively. I'll give them a C+.
Okay.
I'll give them a C+. Because I'm not impressed. We need Chapman to hit. I'm sorry.
You've been really down on Chapman.
I watched him with the A's every single game. You know what I'm saying? We saw him with the Blue Jays, and I get he had a finger injury last year, which contributed to the low numbers, the 17 jacks and the 40 RBIs in that lineup, in that ballpark, up there in the Rogers Center in Toronto. But I need to see more from him. He's batting cleanup. He's batting third. He's batting fifth. He's in the middle of that lineup. We need power. We need him to drive in some runs. I'm sorry. These are the expectations for you here until you can get another bat to where you can slot. Because ideally, he's a 6-hole hitter. To me,
I agree.
He's in a 6th spot.
I think the Giants agree with you.
Right, and he's miscast in this lineup. But he's been a little underwhelming. Thairo Estrada, up and down, up and down, up and down.
He should be better. He's a catalyst in the lineup, and he hasn't been that.
So I'm going C+.
Okay.
I'm going C+.
I think that's fair. Nick Ahmed's been really good. I'm afraid that Nick Ahmed we squeezed the lemon.
Right.
And now you're going to start seeing a regression offensively.
Yep.
Defensively, he's been really good. He's one of the better defensive shortstops. They almost turned a triple play yesterday.
Yeah, C+. I'm close to giving him a B-, but I need to see more in the batter's box because you got to play offense and defense. They're all connected.
I agree. And then defensively, I got through the catcher in there with the infield. And to me, defensively, Bailey's been very spotty defensively. Made some really nice throws. He's also had some what are you doing?
Right.
Defensive things. Let's go to the outfield.
Let's go to the outfield, and I'll give the outfield.
Yeah, you go first.
I'll give them a C as well. I'm giving a lot of C's today. Michael Conforto got off to a hot start at the plate. I think he's been better defensively. Yeah. He has a killed you in left field.
Yeah.
I'm not mad at him. Jung-Hoo Lee, you know what? I'm going to go B-. I'm going to go B- with the outfield.
Thank you, because that's what I'm going to go with.
I'm going B- outfield because Jung-Hoo Lee's been really good in center field. figuring it out. At the plate, he got off to a hot start. You can see the eye discipline. The plate, he's cooled off a little bit, but guys behind him have cooled off.
Yeah.
So now he's starting to, they're not pitching to him. It's like, dude, he's seeing terrible pitches. So I'm going to give him B- because defensively, I think they've been solid. This is one of the better defensive outfields the Giants have had in years. I think Mike Yastrzemski in right field has been really good. We could say what we want about him, but in right field, he's been solid. Austin Slater should not be on this team right now. I hate saying that. He's a nice guy. But he's a 4A player.
Yeah.
Like let's stop the cap with Austin Slater. I know there's Austin Slater stands, which I never knew existed last season. Alan Stiles, our boy from Sacramento. Alan Stiles, Sacramento Allen. He tweeted about Austin Slater. They came for his neck midway through the season. I'm like, damn, Austin Slater has stands? Wow. Anyway, at the plate, Mike Yastrzemski, we know about his struggles, but the bat has come around over the last couple of weeks. I don't know how long it's going to last. I'm not going to pretend like I'm some stand and that he's going to have some blistering season. I want to see Matos. I want to see Ramos at the end of the day. But the outfield, they've been solid. I'll give him a B-.
I think Conforto carried this team for about a week. And he's cooled off a little, but I just think he's having a really good year. I think he's seeing the ball really well. He's making really good contact. I got a B- for the outfield. Jung-Hoo Lee's best ball is ahead of him.
Yeah.
Like, that's one thing that I'm really, confident in. I think he's farther along than I thought. The thing with Lee, they're throwing him to the outside, and he's going to have to start driving it the other way. He's trying to pull everything, and he's rolling it over to second base, rolling it over to first base. So he's going to have to start going the other way. And then Yaz has been picking it up. I throw Fitzgerald in there. As far as bad as Slater has been, Fitzgerald's been pretty good. And so offensively and defensively, I think he's been really good in center field. So I got a B- for the outfield. I got them slightly above the infield.
I like that. I like that a lot. All right, let's go to the starting rotation. Rotation.
I'm going to say A-. And the reason why I say A- is because they're really only doing it with 4 starters right now. I mean, Keaton Winn has been a revelation. I think Logan Webb's been really good for the most part. Kyle Harrison's been really good for the most part. Jordan Hicks, you could make the argument, he's one of the better free agent signings this year. Yes, Blake Snell has been awful, but it hasn't done them in. So I think that the starting rotation is one of the best parts of this team.
So just in since April 20th, here's the runs the Giants have given up as a complete pitching staff. 3, 5, 2, 1, 8, 0, 4, 2, 4.
It's pretty good.
It's pretty damn good.
I mean, it's
brought up Keaton Winn. I feel like we're going to bring him up a little bit later. Jordan Hicks, outstanding interview by Sam Lubman with Jordan Hicks. He's blown me away. He reminds me of Jason Smith in a way. Like he's just. I don't know. I keep going back to that. But Keaton Winn, unsung hero. Logan Webb. He had a rough start yesterday, but Logan Webb has been an ace.
Been great.
He's been one of the best pitchers in the National League, if not the best pitcher in the National League. And that's despite the fact, as you mentioned, Blake Snell's done nothing for this team. Done nothing.
And I think that's why I'm rating them as high as I am, because they're kind of doing it patchworky.
They're doing it patchworky, and they're doing it without a lot of run support.
Yes, that's a good point.
So they're pitching in high-stress innings to where you give up 3 runs, you give up a crooked number in an inning, that could be the ball game.
Yeah.
These guys are keeping you engaged. Oh, did we bring up Kyle Harrison?
I said how.
Oh, you said Kyle Harrison? I missed that. Yeah, no, he's for his first trip, he's getting better and better and better and better. That Miami game where he got rocked early and stayed in there, hung in there, and gave the a chance to win. I like the Giants. I like their starting rotation. I know what the total ERA is team-wise because Blake Snell's inflated the numbers and somebody in the bullpen.
Blake Snell's given up more runs than innings pitched.
Right. Sean Jelly and Blake Snell have inflated just ERA, but for the most part, I get his starting rotation in A. I think they've been outstanding. For the most part.
I would agree. Now I look at the bullpen, Bonte, and there's been some nice stories. Like I think Camilo Duvall overall looks good, but he worries me. Like just when you watch it, it's been up and down. Ryan Walker's been really good, but he worries me for some reason.
And I was worried.
I know. And then I look at like Roop yesterday, and I've heard it pronounced Rupp and Roop. I was listening to Fleming pronounce it. I think he's been good, and he's got roughed up earlier this year. To me, the biggest disappointment coming out of the bullpen are the Rogers brothers. Yeah. For some reason, they just look a tick off right now. I'm going to say C-, D+. They're right on the fringe for me, and I think Camilo Duvall being as good as he's been in certain situations kind of makes me want to lean more C-. I don't like the bullpen right now, and I thought it was going to be a strength of the team.
Right. I'm looking at the 4.43 total team ERA, and I'm looking at the ERAs right now. Kei-Wei Tang, 9.82 ERA. Nick Avila, 7.04 ERA. Blake Snell, 11.57 ERA. Luke Jackson, 13.5. Tyler Fitzgerald had to pitch. He gave up a couple runs. Mitch White had the one appearance. He gave up a couple runs. The local kid from where? Bellarmine Prep, I believe.
Yeah, they traded for.
Yep. Dalton Jeffries got rocked in that spot start.
Yeah,
remember that? So the ERAs are a little inflated. With that said, I've seen a lot of Roop, and I'm not impressed. Sean Jelly, I mean, when he was inserted in that game and replaced Logan Webb yesterday, I basically checked out of the game. I'm not going to lie. I basically was out. That is the white flag for the Giants. That is the cigar, the red Arbach cigar said, this game is over. Sean Jelly I just don't see it with them. I don't know why they keep trotting him out. I don't see anything with him. He's like throwing BP out there. I'm actually surprised his ERA is only 4.5. Seriously. Every time I see him, he's getting lit up. So, and Camilo Duvall, obviously the closer of the Giants. Look, he's going to shut it down. Started using him a lot here over the last 2 weeks. 2 days, day off, 2 days, day off. Can we go with that plan?
I'm watching Duvall, and the thing that I keep coming back to, the pitch clock at some point is going to get into his head in a big game, and he's just got to speed it up a little.
Yeah.
He just has to. I mean, he has to. So the other thing that I'm looking at, B, as I look at this team, I was hoping that they didn't need Alex Cobb as bad as they did. I was hoping that they wouldn't need Robbie Ray as bad as Tristan Beck. They need all those guys. All of them back faster than ever.
Yeah.
They're in a tough spot here.
They are in a very, very tough spot. So I give the bullpen, I'll be generous. I'm a generous teacher. I'll give them a C- to start. First month of the season. Not going to freak out. But to continue this trend in May, and these grades will slip.
Well, they say that 75%, this is a rough estimate, but 75% of the teams that are leading their divisions in Memorial Day are going to be leading those divisions come Labor Day.
Yeah.
So that's very interesting. So this month is going to be absolutely huge for the Giants, and I think we can really start to make serious conversations regarding what they are currently, what they need, blah, 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 Memorial Day. So this is a big month.
So
Well, just this stretch right here, you got, obviously Boston, Philly, Colorado on the road. Then you come home, you got Cincinnati and the Dodgers right after that. These next 2-3 weeks, we're trying to figure out the identity of this Giants team.
Cincinnati,
it's going to tell us.
Yeah, Cincinnati's got some arms, dude. Hunter Green has figured it out.
Cincinnati's probably got one of the most electric players in the game. Ellie Daly Cruz.
And I like their pitching. Like Hunter Green has figured it out. They're 16-14 right now. Who's this other guy they have? Who's just come out of nowhere? They got Abbott, who came up last year. Yeah. I like Abbott.
Encarnacion, the other young player.
Yeah, but there's another pitcher they have who is just shutting things down. What's his name? I got to figure his name out. Nick Lodolo. Nick Lodolo.
Okay.
24 innings pitched, 31 strikeouts. He's got a 1.88 ERA, 0.88 whip. He's been just as dominant as Hunter Green and Andrew Abbott. The Reds are coming. This is a tough stretch. You're right, Lubbock. This is a very, very tough stretch. All right. Unsung hero and most disappointing Giant to start the season. My unsung hero, you could go in many directions. It's either Lamont Wade Jr., Jordan Hicks, or Keaton Wynn. I'll take Keaton Wynn because I didn't expect anything out of Keaton Wynn. And every time you look up, he's going 5, he's going 6, he's giving up 1 run, 2 runs. He's been the unsung hero for me so far through the first 30 games of the season.
Unsung hero. I'm going to say the unsung hero for this team currently is Nick Ahmed. I think Nick Ahmed has been better than I thought. Their defense was a problem. They didn't have a backup shortstop last year, and the shortstop that did start for them was hurt and underperformed. And we love Brandon Crawford, but it was a very bad year, offensively and defensively. Nick Ahmed has been significantly better, and I think he's even surprised the Giants, quite frankly. So I'm going to go with him. Most disappointing for me, it's not even close. It's 2 guys, and it's going to start with Blake Snell, and then I'm going to go right to Chapman. And the reason why I'm disappointed in Blake Snell, not because he got hurt or whatever, because everybody signed up for this. The Giants, the agent, the player. Like, what did you think was going to happen? And then Matt Chapman, he's just striking out too much. Yeah. To me, it's the strikeouts. His at-bats where he's getting overpowered above the hands, driving me crazy.
Most disappointing Giant to start. I could go Chapman, but I honestly expected this from Chapman.
Okay.
That's why I wasn't going
You were always kind of lukewarm.
Yeah, because I kind of expected this at the plate.
Didn't we both agree he's not a $150 million player?
No, he's not. He's not.
And it's kind of showing itself out. It's early.
It is early. That's why when they talk about $300 million a few years ago, I was like, what? $300 million? Crazy? It's going to do that. My most disappointing Giants, probably Blake Snell.
Not Soler?
I was close to saying it's either between Soler, Chapman, or Blake Snell. I could go with either one. I get why Snell struggled. I get why he struggled. So let's see. I'll go Soler. I'll go Soler because he hasn't hit with runners on base. I love the power. But again, they signed him to be in that cleanout spot to drive in runs, and it just hasn't happened.
What if I said to you that my biggest disappointment is not on the Major League roster?
It's not playing the guys?
No, it's looking at their farm system as a whole, and somehow we got ranked lower than when Farhan got here.
Yeah, that's not a good trend.
I mean, I'm looking at like Elliot Ramos is kind of really tearing the cover off the ball right now, and that's great. Matos, Luciano, he's walking more, but the numbers don't look great. Casey Schmidt is hitting better, but it just feels like as a whole, they don't have a lot. Like this kid, Bryce Eldridge, who they drafted, is already like skyrocketing through their rankings.
Right.
And that's a great thing, but it's also a bad thing because you don't have anything else.
Hunter Bishop, what's up with him?
Bryce Eldridge, he's at least 3-4 years away, too.
That's
One
what I'm
thing,
saying.
though, about the farm system, though, Shasky, I mean, the hitting, the position players, it's bad right now in the farm system. The pitching, though, and this is what they said, the Giants, they expected the pitching from the farm to come up this year. You are at least seeing that, but I do agree with you. The farm system's been massively disappointing the last couple of years.
What were they ranked in that newest ranking?
I think the last I saw is 19, but let me see if
Jesus Christ, they're going south.
They haven't
well, they started at 29 when Farhan got here.
Okay,
so.
time out. They haven't traded anyone, and it's 6 years later. Like, how is your farm get worse and worse and worse?
They traded a couple guys in the Chris Bryant trade.
I think though by the end of June, I will be disappointed if we don't see Matos or Ramos or Luciano. I had to see those guys. Because if I want to trade for a bat, I need to see who I'm trading. I need to see that, hey, all right, Luciano, let's just go ahead and kick the tires and go trade for a bat. Let's go ahead and trade Matos or Ramos. I need to see these guys. Can we see these guys? Let the young position players play. Get them ready to roll. Like Slater's really holding up Slater. We're holding up Matos and Ramos because of Austin Slater.
I mean, it's
because he bats well against lefties.
I mean, can you agree with me that like Kyle Harrison is not even close to a finished product?
No.
But isn't it nice to see him kind of develop at the big league level?
Yes, that's all we wanted to see.
Yeah, and he's probably a better prospect than some of these other guys. You're seeing why he was one of the top rated lefty starters in all of baseball. Mm-hmm. And even then, like he's kind of far away. I just look around baseball and there's like exciting player after exciting player coming up, and we've got nothing.
Nothing. 510. Hey guys, I'm an Oakland A's fan along with being a Giants fan. This is our new Xfinity Mobile text line. And one thing I can tell you about Mr. Chapman is that he is a slow starter. So don't worry about it. He'll pick it up.